about the important nature of this right. It is my strong belief that we shall transform Delta State and Nigeria if we maintain this tempo and disallow ourselves from being distracted or divided by the enemies of prosperity for all Deltans. Our steadfastness and unity in this cause is the best commemoration we can give to the memories of our fallen heroes. I thank you all for your time and patience. Harris is one issue for the NSAS End Police Brutality Movement. NSAS! End Brutality!
Thank you very much.
My concern, Your Excellency, is the inclusion of Aniocha Oshimili Federal Constituency in Del Superlek. Now you want to ask, why Aniocha Oshimili? History will tell us that for the NDDC, which is the federal, you will understand that the North, though with very limited oil exploration and potentials, have been granted observer status in the NDDC. My appeal, therefore, is that young people in Delta State, and especially in Aniocha Oshimili Federal Constituency, won't be allowed to have that kind of opportunity. We understand from records that communities in Aniocha Oshimili Federal Constituency like Oko, Ibuzo, Ishiago have these reserves. And we also understand that companies like OPL, Ajib have also moved into some of these communities, and exploration may be on the way already. My next concern, Your Excellency, is the creation of wards. I must commend you for your recent move in creation of more wards in Delta State. But my concern, Your Excellency, is that we have in good records that some politicians want to hijack that process. Your Excellency, I seize this opportunity to let you know that you shouldn't allow that. The aftermath of the creation of wards, Your Excellency, is to allow young people with credibility, young people with good track record, begin to seek political offices at the local government level and even the state level. The councillors, the chairman, should really be young people going forward. That would help us. Finally, Your Excellency, recently we saw in the news your engagement with some youths across ethnic nationalities, precisely the IYC. Your Excellency, this constituency is yours. You're from this place. The normal orientation is that Aniocha Oshimili youths aren't organized enough to engage with you. But I challenge that kind of thinking this morning. That young people in Aniocha Oshimili are very organized, and they feel jealous when they see you engage with other ethnic nationalities. Charity, they say, begins at home. We want to see that kind of engagement with young people in your constituency. You have, thank you. You have a lot to do with young people, special advisors, senior special advisors. But Your Excellency, sir, my final question is, what are the criteria of selecting young people in your government? In the last 4 years till this time, what reports have been brought to you? How do they advise you really? And how, going forward, how do you want to engage people with credibility in your government? We need to look inwards more and do more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This out. Sir, you know, Duke, Akwebu, and Awai, when you see people across the Niger, we suffered a lot in that process. And also, I want to use the opportunity to thank the local government chairman, Congo Lucho Sadegre, Obueshigado Konchi, Nandi, for their motivation. So I want to beg you to go down to the community youths, because the community youths go down to see the youth in their various communities. So what we notice in this leadership, some youths fly on air, they don't go down really to the community and it's affecting us seriously. So I want to use the opportunity to beg this governor of Delta State, please, we the youths, we are not carried along, because most empowerment goes on air. It does not go down to the youth properly. We have youth from different local government that is here. We are all on ground. There are some things that is happening in this state. We hear it on radio, and then we do not go down properly to the youth. Like as I'm talking to you in this process, I lost my vehicle. It was spoiled beyond repair that time. We were trying to protest them from calling the high court, and we lost 2 youths in this side. We just buried one yesterday, and we are not burying the one from Oko. We also want to thank you for your support, for what you also assisted us in the process. We also have some youths in hospital now on gunshots. We got our card also. One car was got on Isiana. So sir, please, And I think in this aspect of projects in our various community, if there's any project going on, the CFO should be a community unit on ground. That is the only way for us to help our people. We should monitor our project ourselves, not bringing you from up to come and do it for us. And I'm a youth leader, I'm a local government youth leader for crying out loud. As I'm talking to you, being on top, you have to also go down to reach to the people. So I don't have the finance to also reach the people and discuss with them. And we say that our community youth leaders, that our youth leaders that also cannot discuss to our people, not fly to the you have to be down to the people. You bring yourself to the level of those people, also you can reach them. So please, this is our opportunity for us to be carried along and for you to help us. You've done very, very well, sir. But we want you to look at the aspect of the youth very, very well. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Felix.
First of all, for your support thus far and how you have been there for us in the past. We equally want to thank you for the regard you have for the student community and how serious you take us, because as representative here in this town hall meeting, the senior special advisor to the governor, Jerry Riwayo, is presently holding another town hall meeting with all student leaders in the state and past student leaders at Beniza Hotel presently. That's to tell you how important you take the student community. We must appreciate you for that. Thank you very much, sir. On this note, sir, Your Excellency, we want to thank you too for the appointment and the employment that you have given to the students.
The UN 2030 agenda, if we're going to speak specifically on UN SDG 5, which talks about gender equality, we believe that if more women are represented in government, in places of authority, that will be an amazing way to close the gender gap. So, we therefore appeal to you to do more to address the pressing issues and challenges of the youth in our state. Thank you very much.
Agriculture, for example, we need to thank you for the work you have done, but do more. In the end, everybody must not do white-collar job. In the end, agriculture is one area that can create so many jobs. We are so proud of your smart agenda. In agriculture, for example, in a very big agricultural camp, because of health issue, a doctor can be employed. The doctor must not go to the general hospital to work, or so many doctors can be employed. In that same maybe agricultural camp, engineers who are taking care of their tractors can also be part of the system. So at the end of the day, when you see, you must have brought a lot of people from different walks of life to work because of that large agricultural arrangement. And the state youth coordinator, I think that is your protocol man. But most times he has his time to talk with us. I'm talking of Chief Okowa, who's also working with your EA or youth development, now they say from my area. And they say with it, they try very well, this field of life, making phone calls, trying to protect our area. Because if you don't have so much, and the one that is faithful is, I know there is no person who is a debtor that will open his eyes to burn down that beautiful structure you built at Koka. That must have been the handwork of people who are not from the state. I want to strongly believe that any violence that was done in this state, not because the person wants to get involved in ELSAs, but because they are not from here. Nobody will see those beautiful things and spoil them. Anything I want to vouch that, I want to tell you categorically clear that the use of data, the reuse of data, did not take part in any destructive protest. Those ones that bombed things or destroyed the beautification exercise were those that came from other places. So, Your Excellency, sir, once more, we want to thank you. And another one, sir, I know many Nigerians will like this. Some people might not like it. One problem we are having, because we are seeing you as somebody who will go forward to think of a better Nigeria, so that you carry it, you are going beyond the state, I know that. Our National Assembly members, they are not making good laws. So if you have the opportunity, talk to them. They can not only make laws that will benefit, they should make laws that will benefit the larger crowd for the betterment of Nigeria. Look at the issue of electoral law. Why should somebody who is not popular get involved in politics? you cannot win an election in your own family. You want to represent everybody. It's not possible. The youth are tired of the position. The electoral bill should be signed, so that if you know that if If you go for election and the people will vote you out, you will not make any move to go and contest. Tell the federal people the electoral law should be signed, because that one will bring a bigger problem if not signed. Now the youth does not have money and money bags to either go and settle like that. Even if you are popular, you can't settle like that. As a youth, you'll be tired of even contesting. So, but as a popular youth, you know you have something to offer. You know when they give you something, you take it to your people. You can come out to say other zero party or anything, or even PDP that we are members. I want to contest. A leader cannot come and say don't contest because you did not wash his car yesterday. You will come out because they don't want you to represent them. We are tired of imposition. Tell the federal, let them put that electoral side thing so long. Our House of Assembly too. You people should try. Make laws that are beneficial to the grassroots. When I hear us, we salute you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Your Excellency, you will agree. Thank you. You will agree with me that our brother Chief Anstem, he has indeed taken us by storm. Let's give him another round of applause. I see.
They were in front of the mobile court, and after that, we were arrested and charged for arson and murder. I think we don't know that is a breach to the fundamental human rights. So, sir, we want to know if that order came from you, and why is that they are being held against their wish for 8 hours. They are still in the prison custody. So I want to tell you that some police in this Delta state are committing crime of breaking and entry and burglary. They come to a youth house without search warrant, nothing, burgle to his house, back his load, keep it in the police custody. He will bail himself, he will bail his load, and he will bail his car. So I want to know if you, as our leader and our father in this state, if you are aware. So are you aware that justice in Delta State is very expensive? I think you will ask me how. Someone will go to lay a complaint in the station, police will be forcing to pay money for mobilization. And if this person has no money to pay, the case will die. So I want to know if you are aware of that. Answer. What platform are you trying to create to bridge this unemployment between our youth? We don't want to be hearing there is a skill application. No, we don't want. I want to hear from you your plan that you have for us. So, you will want to know the plan you have for us. Not that you tell us that some political leader will handle this. No. We want to have a platform that the common man, when I mean a common man, a man that does not know the governor or don't know the commissioner, a man that is well vulnerable, can have access to all these things. Because we know that what I have, that over 6,000 youth have been empowered. I need to ask myself, where did they come from? Because from my own side, I don't know anyone that has been empowered. So we want to know from you. And we want to have a platform that the common man can be empowered without knowing anybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are going to go to the ethnic nationality.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this opportunity. So, a consensus was just carried out and rounded up concerning the next DG to be in the WTO, World Trade Organization, and it's a person of ours, the person of Mrs. Okowa. And I asked myself a question yesterday. I said, if this woman was not given the chance to rise from youth to where she was, I don't think she would be representing us, not just in the state level, but federal, not just federal, I think the world at large. And everyone is singing her praise because there was an opportunity for her to rise. And there's a question I want to ask, because I know you started politics from a youth age and opportunities were given to you. And also, I think Imam Mr. Hansen said something here that it is imperative to note that you were not raised on the wings of Godfatherism because you had your own relationship with the youth at large. So my question is, sir, what did you know that we need to know as youth so that we can be able to also rise and be free to also fly when it's our own time? Because painfully, it is looking as though youths will not be able to do anything without having godfathers or having people that must push them. I need to understand the criteria for youth to be able to gain relevance in this society. You know, in Washington DC, in the US, there's an infrastructure that was created, an institution for young men and young women to be trained in governance. You see, when their leaders are kept aside, those young men, they go to places where they are trained and they are lectured about the know-how of governance. When I drive along the express, I see an infrastructure that is set there, School of Governance. But what I'm suggesting, my observation is, sir, you are a proactive person. In your initiative, if you can create an infrastructure, if you have not done this already, if you can create an infrastructure wherein young men and women will be able to register or go, people are interested in politics, or interested in way they can actually build themselves politically, and at the end of the day will be able to impact their society positively. So I think that this should be looked into. There's a way you can look into this. Then secondly, as pertaining the criteria for employment in Delta State, a sister of mine said something. It is painful that before you know, they have announced that people know and who you don't know. So I want to understand what is the system that must be introduced so that young men and young women will be picked on merit. I, for one, am a first-class graduate. I graduated since 2014. Till today, I have no job. When I graduated, I even went to the scholarship board. I submitted all my educational whatever, and I submitted it there, and at the end of the day, it got to some point they said that the scholarship board had closed, or they are no longer granting scholarship for first-class graduates. It was very painful because one of the major reasons why I was doing so well was because I had seen some people that did that. So I said to myself, let me also brace up so that I can be a better contribution to my society. All these things are the things that will kill the influence that youth are supposed to gain so that they can be able to impact the society. Then the final observation I have is this. One of our brothers here said, he said something about the youth and how they can be empowered. So it is painful that a lot of empowerment schemes are coming up. Some young men, so to say, after application and everything, at the end of the day, if you are not recommended, even when you've qualified, even when you've gone through the trainings, if you are not recommended, you won't be picked. If you are not recommended by someone in higher place, you won't be picked. You won't be recognized. At the end, it breaks the courage of a young man, and such a person can go into criminality. So thank you very much, Your Excellency. This is my project.
Thank you very much.
But after the election and whatever is happening, I'm the youth president of my community. Whatever is being shared, it will be shared across political boundary, which is not the best for our own community. So we are appealing to you, get direct to the youth leaders of the community when the palliative or whatever opportunities come. Empowerment per se, we hear of it, but we don't know. The youth supposed to have power to appoint some persons who should be in good position to represent the youth. So we are appealing to the governor to help us in this step. Number 3, the issue of imposition is becoming a big problem in Anocha South. We have so many youths that are very popular and that can help the community to grow, but the godfatherism issue will not help us. I want to urge you, sir, that you put machineries in place. Community youth leaders or youths that are capable of representing the interests of the community, let them be put forward. Let this issue of godfatherism not break the efforts of the youths. Finally, sir, the agro-allied park industry, you intended to bring it to Anocha South. We don't know what happened to it. We would like to tell us whatever the challenges you are having. We the youth, we are ready to make sure we went into the matter and make sure that this dream is realized. We promise we can do that. Thank you, sir.
Members of the House of Assembly and members of the Delta State Executive Council. Great Nigerian youths. Great Nigerian youths. First, I want to thank all of you for coming to this town hall meeting. We had one in Warri yesterday, and today we have another one here. I don't mean to rush you. I'll try to take a little time to try to go through all this. But I'm glad that we have had this meeting because it gives me the opportunity to listen to you and also gives me the opportunity to also educate us that everything that meets us is not good. And the way we're making our demands, I'm glad that we're speaking from the depth of our heart. But I'm sure that nobody is talking about how do we fund many of the things that we do. It's a challenge. If you don't find yourself in government sometimes, you do not know what the setbacks are. I'm going to try my possible best to be as factual as possible. I'm not given to sentiments when I try to speak. I try to be as truthful as I can. But also in the course of the process, even as I've learned quite a lot from us talking, it's also possible that we also get ourselves educated together, because we need to look at the whole of this nation holistically and begin to think of ways that we can partner together. It's unfortunate, about now as I'm talking, my uncle is being buried in the village. I'm supposed to be there, my family has gone, but it's important to me, and I have to be with us and stay as patiently as I can. So I want to thank all of you for coming and for speaking very, very frankly, because that's what I like to see. And I'm encouraged that many of our youths can talk this broadly and could articulate themselves to the level to which we are seeing ourselves articulate ourselves this afternoon. And using ourselves, I'm no longer a youth now, but I remember when I started as a youth, I had this me as a right. Okay, sit down.
Thank you.
2 days, we had identified that people had infiltrated into you. And eventually that night, they did what they wanted to do. To God be the glory, it was mine in Delta. Very dangerously bad in many states. And we pray and hope that we would, having drawn the attention of the government to where we ought to, that we will not lose the trend. We will not lose the main focus of the NSAS protest. Because the hooliganism that followed almost began to overshadow the legitimate protest. And I don't think that was our intention. So we'll look into all that. The complaints office, we talked about it, we are going to inaugurate it soon. That the number of youths who are engaged in this administration is not less than 6 to 10 times the numbers that have been engaged in previous governments. That is the truth. But the fact is, there is still a lot to learn. Are they utilizing that position to build themselves? In terms of building themselves knowledge-wise? Are they trying to create space for other persons to come by taking them along?
No.
So these are things that we have to spend more time thinking together. And the Commissioner for Youth, I think he has a lot of work to do. For himself, I keep on saying wherever I go that God's grace on him, but I never knew him. Not before 2014, I never knew him. I only just came to know him because of it, and I believe that there is a lot to learn together. So we'll continue to engage that. I don't want to tell you the number now, but please look through your local governments. You'll find a lot of youths who are engaged in one man or the other. There are some of them may just be there, not active, staying on their own, and eventually you may not even know whether they're an appointment or not. The CSO, the person that spoke for the CSO, I must thank you. I've taken note of all that you said and the need to get you more support you to monitor projects. I'm glad particularly for that statement, because I actually look out for people who help me monitor projects beyond the engineers and architects that we have. I've created a separate project monitoring unit, so I'll be glad to have the CSO, the civil society organization, the community youth, as they have offered, the leadership to help us to monitor projects. It will help me, because I don't want to do a project and to repeat the same thing that I've done. It ought not to be so, and I'll be glad to find ways that we can work. Other requests made by them, we've taken note of that. What they thought was right in defense of what's, that in going out to speak about the need not to destroy what government has spent money to build. And the vehicles have been lost. The council chairman spoke to me. I asked him to the SSD. The SSD has briefed me. We'll definitely intervene. We know we cannot bring lives back. It's such a painful loss and a very unfortunate thing. And the various local governments have taken note of that, but a lot of you spoke about that, and I think that is right. I think that to that extent too, I've not done enough coordination to realize that I have ignored the community. So I know the roles you have played. I appreciate it. In terms of keeping peace, and I would have to insist on meeting. I may not be able to meet every community, but at least the person that leads every local government in 25 local governments, I'll have to meet with you soon so that we'll look at the details of what can be done. So I thank you so much.